Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I want to just thank you both for being here as well. I'm proud to be a part of a small group of immigrants in the Congress, and I believe the only immigrant today that's asking questions, and certainly that is here. I immigrated as a young kid from South America to the United States with my family, my mom, my dad, grandmother, and like most immigrants, we came to the United States in search of the American dream in trying to improve what was a very difficult life back home. I always tell people that my proudest day was the day I became a United States citizen. I was in my early 20s. I was just wrapping up college. And I think like most immigrants that we meet, immigrants are actually incredibly patriotic. We love this country. I'm so grateful to be an American and to be here with you today. Immigrants, I think we recognize, have worked really hard to build this country. This is a country of immigrants, and a huge part of our success is due to immigrant labor and immigrants investing back into communities. I think also we understand, and I certainly attest to this, that immigrants are also some of the most patriotic people that you'll ever meet. They love this country, and they're very grateful to be here. We know that being anti-immigrant is really being anti-American, and we should be clear today at this hearing that no human is illegal. I think, unfortunately, we have heard from former leaders, even the former president, President Trump, calling immigrants, and particularly those from Mexico, rapists and drug dealers, and other very derogatory terms. That is not a way to solve this problem. I've heard today a lot of conversation about fentanyl and drugs coming over the border, and one argument that I've heard is this false connection between asylum seekers and immigrants and the very serious fentanyl crisis that we actually is serious in our country and in our community. Now, Chief Modelin, you've made aware some of your comments earlier, but I want to note that the Nonpartisan Government Accountability Office has found that over 90% of fentanyl border seizures actually occur at legal border crossings, and that 91% of drug seizures are actually from U.S. citizens. Now, this same study found that only 4% was from potentially removable immigrants. The percentage of all those arrested at Border Patrol who possess any fentanyl, according to the conservative institute, the Cato Institute, is actually 0.02%. And so the truth is that a vast majority of fentanyl is being smuggled by U.S. citizens at legal ports of entry. And I think many of my colleagues have brought this up and have alluded to this data earlier today. And so I just think it's clear, and it's clear to me from both of you, that you also understand that there is suffering that is happening from people that are desperate along our border. And when asylum seekers are fleeing these repressive regimes, whether it's in Venezuela, whether it's in my home country of Peru, whether it's from Cuba, they are presenting themselves to the Border Patrol to make legal claim for asylum. These are mostly not traffickers. And so I think it's important to think about the people that we're talking about today as human beings, as people, as generally folks that are suffering and that are coming to our country for assistance and for help. It's also been interesting to me that many of our colleagues today who claim to be concerned about this issue voted against a bill which included $430 million for custom and border protection to modernize and improve screening at our ports of entry. This, of course, was the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. So this hearing is leaving me with a feeling that, like much in our immigration debate, we don't really have any interest, particularly with my friends on the other side, in actually solving this problem and making our country safer. I want to remind us that the last president to sign real comprehensive immigration reform was President Reagan, a Republican. His leadership back in the 1980s is what put my family and myself on a pathway to citizenship. And so I hope that today's Republican Party and today's leaders within the party are willing to come to the table and actually pass comprehensive and important immigration reform that not only continues to invest in our border and ensure that the asylum process is fair, but that also provides pathways and looks and goes to the root problem as to why folks are actually crossing the border. Because as we are clear from this hearing, it's not a drug issue or solely an issue about fentanyl. It's about desperation, and it's about access to the American dream. So I just want to thank you both for being here today. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back my time.